I managed to question a lot of dream characters that I came across. And I found out that there were two distinct beings within the dream reality that I found myself in. So I became lucid, I was aware I was within the dream, and I knew I was in a dream. And then I started to question, I just find a character, whether it be a woman or whatever, and I'd say, where are you from, who are you, what do you represent? And they would always have like a blank look on their face, like a robot, you know? Kind of like a dead stare. And they would say, I'm a part of your subconscious mind, or I represent your fears, or something of that nature. But then I came across some beings, about 30% of the beings, were actually quite different. They had a whole new way about them. And I call these spirits. The way I can tell is because within their eyes, they are very much alive, very sparkling like you and I, very much alive. And you just have this pure connection with them, that they are in fact a spirit. So thankfully I befriended one, and I managed to find out a lot more about him, and he actually told me that he's known me my whole life, and known me from my past lives as well. And he claims to be my spirit guide. That term's been thrown around quite a lot. Throughout the ages they've been called angels, guardian angels, spirit animals. But in my world I like to call them spirit guides, because that's essentially what he does. He guides me. But thankfully I managed to have a one-to-one interaction with him within the dream state. And just by learning a few techniques, meditative practices, breathing techniques, and just adopting the right awareness within the daily reality, you can actually seek out your own spirit guide. And my philosophy is I think everyone actually does have a spirit guide or a spirit family. Some say they consist of 5 unique members per soul or per spirit on this planet. And whether you're conscious about it or not, they are actually influencing your daily decisions in a positive nature. Whether or not you're open to that, I don't know. But the more you are open to that awareness, the more you will attract this energy, the spirit energy as I like to call it. Synchronicities in your daily life will speed up. Number sequences. Many people report seeing a lot of numbers like 555 as soon as they look at the clock, and they think that's a bit strange. Or 444, or 222. And these are all little clues that there is a guiding force trying to bring to your attention that there is something much more than just this physical reality we believe that we're in. And that's essentially what lucid dreaming can do for you. It's among many other things like flying, walking through walls, eating a ton of chocolate cake. You can do anything and everything. There are no limits. Your imagination is basically where it's at. You can just achieve anything and go forward. And if it's like spiritual development, if you want to face your fears, you can do that. You can become aware in your dreams. You can summon a guide by calling out their name. They will appear, and then they will take you through different places. It's quite fascinating, and thankfully I've been blessed with this gift, and I think everyone else can actually achieve this. In fact, I actually gave the book, after I wrote it, within I think the first week of handing it over to my brother, he found a spirit guide within that week, which was great, which was a spirit animal. It was a cat, I believe. But they can talk to you, and it's like, wow, the awareness you adopt when you're in the lucid state, when you actually communicate with these beings, it's not so much about talking, like you and I are doing right now. It's more about psychic ability and psychic awareness and feeling their emotions, and them talking to you through emotion, through the heart center. My guide in particular tried to teach me telepathy within the lucid dream itself, and it took quite a few trial and errors to get the hang of it. But now, the funny thing is that when you actually achieve something in the lucid state, you bring it back into the physical reality. I have become more psychic throughout the years because I'm communicating on the other side. So you're unlocking these abilities within you. These abilities that you already do have, it's just a case of unlocking them. And psychic ability and psychic awareness is just a small part of it. And lucid dreaming is becoming more and more popular now. Many people spontaneously have them, especially at a young age. Children are just naturally prone to this because they are receptive, they are willing, they're at peace, they have no ego mindset. But then as we grow older, we develop this personality that sometimes can block us from being open to the spirit realm or to these fantastic abilities. So it's just a case of going back home, as I like to call it. You're literally just going back home step by step to your divine nature that's within you. And each and every one of us has that ability. So the benefits are, among many other things, is you can face your fears. Your guide will help you go back to those childhood memories where the root cause is where the problem actually stemmed from. That's just one of the things. You can achieve extraordinary abilities. They can just be there for you, and you will never feel alone. For me in particular, like when I did this more often, like I said before with the number sequences, you can come back into this realm. This realm is really where we call real. But what a spirit guide will do is that they will break down the wall between dream and wake. Because really, it's all one big dream. This is another type of dream right now, it's just a bit more solid. As I like to call it. And thus a lot of the Tibetan dream yoga traditions speak of lucid dreaming being one continuous stream of awareness. So you don't just sleep, you're not just awake and then you're asleep for a third of your life, that's about 25 years. You're actually continuously aware, so that when you go to sleep, you still get your restful sleep, but you're also aware within the dream state. You're not sleepwalking within the dream. So if you can get your head around that, that's another 30 years on top of your life. So if that's not, something to look forward to, I don't know what is. So you can extend your life. And this world as well, because everything is a mirror between the two worlds, dream and wake. And this world actually appears to be more and more, day by day, just another type of dream. You feel immortal because you know you are actually a dream body within, or a spirit body. You are a spirit in a human shell. It's a temporary part of your life. There is so much more to see. But don't take my word for it. I want you guys, some of you may already lucid dream, you may have already had spontaneous lucid dreams, but just give it a go because it is a wonderful, wonderful asset and it makes your life feel so much more complete. I don't know where I'd be without lucid dreaming. I can honestly say that. Before I was in a sales job. I was working 9 to 5. I was very stressed. I was trying to be a musician. Tried that for 15 years. I was just against the flow of life. I was just trying to swim upstream all the time, and it was very, very tough. But within me, I knew there was something so much more to life than just what I was going through. Getting on the tube every day, coming back from work and watching the TV for 1 hour, then going to sleep, not remembering any dreams. That wasn't a life for me. I wanted to change that. So then I found meditation. I found going back within and unlocking the answers already within me to then provide me a much better existence. And I really adore this life now. I see physical reality in such a different way now. If I could, how do I see this physical reality? Yeah, I see it more as, I don't want to say the word illusion because then that would signify that it's not real. But then again, define what real is, the word real. What is real to you? When we're in a dream, there's a scary monster running after you. You, in that moment, believe it's real. And then you wake up, you're in a cold sweat, you think, oh, I've had a nightmare. But back then, you thought it was real. So this is also another type of dream in which you think it's real. So the flip side is, believe that everything is real and an illusion at the same time. It's a bit of a paradox. But it just becomes more fluid. I think the right word to use is more fluid, and you can just journey more downstream in the way of the universal flow presents itself. Because it seems that there is a guiding force which is completely divine and completely intelligent, and is available to each and every one of us, if we so wish to channel that. And there's many other areas in spirituality. There's energy practices you can use. there's many different crystals and you know, many different aspects of this, and there is ways to even attract the spiritual and the spirit energy or the spirit guide energy into your life even more. I use a few stones. There's one called selenite, which I used to have around my neck, but I haven't got it. But this opens up the communication of hearing your guide, and you feel this psychic awareness even more when you wear it. It's wonderful. So I do, if you have gone into the notion of buying a few stones here and there, I do recommend it. Quartz crystal as well is very good. It keeps the channel open within your psychic centers. But yeah, to answer your question, I absolutely adore this reality as much as I adore the other reality. But for me, it's just one big reality now. There is no separation. So there we go. It's a long answer. Sorry, yes. So how do we become lucid? There are many techniques. The most easiest way of doing this is going to bed at a reasonable hour, say 10:30. You have about 4 to 6 hours sleep, so your body takes that rest, because your body does need that rest. So about 4 to 6 hours, and then you wake up at 4 a.m. either with an alarm or naturally is probably best. Then you get up, you go for a toilet or whatever, and then you stay up for about 30 to 40 minutes. Don't put on any big lights or anything like that. Try and remain in this calm, centered mood of feeling at peace, because when you wake up at 4, all that mind stuff is all gone. You're like a new canvas, you know. And this is a beautiful state to become aware in your dreams. It's a perfect time. It's a sweet spot. It's about 4 a.m. So then go back to bed after 30 to 40 minutes, and then set your intention, say, or something that it fits your language, which would be, I now become aware within my dream. What I say, I have a little motto, which is, when I dream, I will know I'm dreaming. And I say this repeatedly, like a mantra. And I do this until I fall asleep, within about 10 minutes, because you're pretty tired, like 4 a.m. you're pretty tired. So then you just go to sleep, and then what you find is you'll just appear in a dream, because your awareness has been focused on the dream. And then you wake up within the dream, and you'll go, okay, I'm now lucid. You just become aware that this is all a dream. And what I do is, when I become lucid in my dream, I put my hands up. You can do many things, but I put my hands up, and then this grounds you within the dream even more, because your hands look very, very different. They look almost cartoony, because bear in mind, this is an awareness that you know, okay, so I know that my hands look like this in physical reality, but within the dream, it's a projection of your hands. Obviously, it's not physical hands. And you can count your fingers, and you can use this as a reality check as well throughout your daytime practice. This strengthens the intention throughout the day. You can just count your fingers, say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have 10 fingers. Or those, and then your thumbs. Don't forget those. And then what you do is, within the dream, usually numbers and things like that won't appear like normal, like in this reality. So that's why we count our fingers in the daytime. Because in the dream, they probably have another finger, and then you know that you're dreaming. So if you can set an hourly alarm on your clock, and to wake up, to be aware that you are taking a reality check on the hour in the daytime. So when this bleeps, you look at your hands, you count your fingers, and then that's it. You know that you're not in a dream because you have 10 fingers. You see? But what will happen is, when you go to bed at night and you dream, you'll all of a sudden in the dream go, oh. And then you count your fingers and you realize, because of how weird it looks, hey, I'm in a dream. Now you've been triggered into a lucid dream. So this is another way of being triggered. So there's many different techniques, but I do suggest the 4 to 6 hours sleep beforehand, followed by setting your intention, and you have to stay up at least half an hour, with dim lighting as well, maybe like a candle or something is really good. But it's all about intention, belief, and awareness. It really is. So when you say unconscious, do you mean the subconscious?
Yeah, the subconscious.
Okay. I've studied how they influence me and how they interact and how they read situations. What they do is, because of your dream world is made up, more of the dream world is actually made up of your subconscious reality. So your subconscious mind is creating the reality around you as a dreamscape. Buildings, objects, from past memories, etc. But what your spirit guide is doing, it's reading your subconscious. He was reading my dream symbols around me before I even knew them. He was talking to me, and I was in a very fearful place, and I kneeled down, and I was just like, his name is Clifftop, you know. I was like, Clifftop, I'm in a fearful place. I'm worried about this. I'm worried about that. And he's like, okay, keep talking to me. You know, so I'm just there having a heart-to-heart. And then around me, behind me, there's zombies creeping up behind me. I didn't know there were zombies behind me. But then his eyes, because I'm looking at him, his eyes look over my shoulder, and he can see that there's zombies. So he's now reading my subconscious manifestations, because your subconscious is manifesting these before your conscious self knows it. If that makes any sense. So what they do is they integrate with your subconscious mind. They read and that's how they can read you and know before you. But also there's a lot of psychic ability going off as well. He's reading me, he knows me very well. He probably knows me more than I know me. Not probably, I know that. He knows me more than I know me. But I think the quest is to integrate with that higher self. If you want to call it higher self, you can do. To integrate with this part of you, so then it becomes one complete being. And I think that is the sole purpose of the human race, but that's a big notion to say. But it's all about integrating with the higher self to combine the two beings together. And a spirit guide can give you that. It's real. The reality that you find yourself in, the lucid dream, is incredibly real. But there are levels of density, or should I say, there are levels of dreamscapes. Some are more real than others. Some are quite hazy, some are quite blurry. But as long as you are aware that you are within the dream and you know that this is the dream reality, you know it's not physical reality because it's very different, but it's also similar. You know that you are in the dream reality, and therefore you control it, and you can know that it's not Bridesmaids. The movie, just for the viewers.
But you would agree there's a similarity, because, like, you know, somebody wrote the script of Bridesmaids, and somebody must be writing the script of your dream.
Fight or flight response of situations. So if we're in a fearful place, we will run away or we will fight. The subconscious mind will tell you the sweet, sweet truth of anything you ask it, every time. And that is the beauty of it. This is how you can go so deep into your dream realities and just work on these, whatever it is you want to work on. Maybe you can just, you know, for entertainment purposes, something visual. I found this lady and I said, show me something spectacular. And then all of a sudden she went, okay. And she morphed into this kind of Catherine wheel, like this huge, like firework. I went, and it was like a spectacular sky, lights going everywhere, and there's like oh, it was amazing. And I felt this bliss. I was like, wow, thank you. You know, it's wonderful. There's entertainment purposes. Anything. But that's in my imagination because I created that. But you too can create exactly anything you want. Anything you want. The imagination is limitless. There is no limit. So there we go. I'm very passionate about it. That's why I talk like this. So.
How do you decipher the number sequences? Because as long as I can remember, I wake up at 1:11 a.m. and I always tend to look at the clock at 1:11, either afternoon or AM.
Okay.
And I don't know what's
something trying to get your attention, and until you understand its meaning, then it will show you something else, and so forth. Well, that's what I've experienced anyway. There's many numerology sequences out there. All numbers have different vibrations and meanings. I believe 111 is a sign of manifestation. But do check that. There is many sites out there which have angel numbers. They call them angel numbers, and sequences of 4 to 5 or 6 digit numbers. And you can learn to read these, and then it will give you a language of meaning. But I believe it's something to do with manifestation, and that you can actually create at this time anything you so desire. But do not quote me on that. I think you should. There is actually a website called Angel. I think it's angelnumbers.com. Do check that. Yeah, it's a very reliable source. Question. I don't think it's a question of luck. It is about self-belief, self-awareness, and how much. What is the intention behind it? Why do you need a spirit guide? Why would you feel you needed it? Is it to fulfill a certain purpose? So for me anyway, because I don't think anyone really knows the answer to that, but I can only speak from my experience, and it is, he came into my life at a real dark time, but I always felt that there was this invisible force that was guiding me throughout my whole life, but I could never explain it. Only until I went traveling to India, and then I managed to really set my attention to go seek out something more within my dream reality, and then I luckily found him. But I had to question these characters. I had to have the belief, and I had to have the supreme need to find out more than what physical reality is. So many people that have angels and guardian angels, they all say that everyone can relate to all of this, and it's basically everyone has these beings as a guiding force. And have you ever had that thought where you double guess yourself? You think, oh, I shouldn't cross the road because there's something not quite right there. Or, I believe they're whispering in our ears at that time. They give you the option, and they don't want to get into the free will of it because they can't deny us of that. We're allowed our free will, but they will present the option to you. So when you have that, maybe it's them whispering, you know, maybe you shouldn't walk across that road, for whatever the reason is. So if you really want this, my advice is go seek it. And to be honest, there's nothing to seek. They're right here, right now. They're already here, so it's a very easy switch. Just switch your mind and then just think, okay, it's here. So I was here before, but now I'm here. It's a very small switch. It's not years and years of meditation. It's not years and years of finding out the latest Kundalini Yoga technique. It's really a case of just adopting the right awareness. And the book is all about that. Because it is awareness. It really is. So, thank you for that.